which are the need of the hour for the startups today. We've got a very encouraging response from all the participants who have attended, and we are more than happy to see participants looking forward eagerly for the next round of Power Hour series. So today we have a very interesting topic, actually a topic which is the need of the hour, especially with the pandemic situation we are facing. So the topic is Go Digital. Now, this particular session is being hosted by one Mr. Shankar Ramchandran. He is a founder of Simply Sales, and basically his USP is all about how the digital space can really be used optimally, which in turn will result in improved sales for a startup. So the name itself talks about it. So without much ado, I would hand over the platform to Shankar. Over to you. Before we actually get into his session, a couple of housekeeping aspects. So post Shankar's session, if time permits, we'll have a Q&A where the participants can either put their questions, on the Q&A section or the chat board. And in case there are any questions alongside while the session is on, we would encourage them to start typing the information. And over to you, Shankar. All the best.
Thank you, Ganga. Firstly, I would like to thank SINE for this opportunity of making a presentation on this topic called Go Digital. And since time is of the essence, I'll just go ahead straight and dive into the presentation. So I'm going to share my screen now. Yeah. Ganga, is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
All right. So let's just get started with the session straight away. So as Ganga mentioned, the name of the session is Go Digital. So what is it that we will be covering today? So fundamentally, we'll be covering search engine marketing, which is we'll be exploring the possibilities on Google Ads as to the immense possibilities that this tool offers you to generate leads in a very cost-effective fashion. And we'll be looking at some key tools that Google provides for free, along with the metrics that needs to be looked at, some key reports which as business owners will be very important for you in terms of garnering the insights with respect to your digital marketing activities on Google Ads. Following this, the second section will be about LinkedIn, in which we'll be focusing on LinkedIn does offer a lot of ad types, but for this session, we'll be focusing on one primary ad type, which is gaining a lot of traction on the platform, which is the LinkedIn sponsored ad type, sponsored in-mail ads. And the last section of this webinar will be on content marketing, where we'll be talking about a couple of things. First is the B2B content marketing trends for the year 2020, followed by a new wave which is gaining traction again with respect to how you can represent content on your websites or your blogs. So having said that, the primary outcome which I intend to drive from this webinar of 60 minutes is to empower you guys with the information of what's possible with these tools so that you can experience sales growth at an affordable cost. That's what is the primary agenda that I'm intending to do, the primary outcome, via this session. Now, before we get into the details of the tool, one important point that I would like to highlight is managing your expectations with digital. Now, most of the companies whom we have worked with in the past feel that they start advertising today and they expect results the very next day. But that's not the case as far as digital is concerned. It is a journey of continuous improvement. You got to start, you got to run, you got to measure, then you got to repeat. So this is your mantra in terms of any digital initiative that you intend to pursue. And with respect to this session, it's with respect to Google Ads as well as LinkedIn. That's applicable here as well. And it takes time. That's very important. But at the end of the day, digital is your friend. You got to embrace it with open arms and experience growth That is a given. So let's just get into the 5 key pieces as far as digital is concerned. First and foremost is the goals, wherein every organization needs to identify what are the goals that they intend to achieve when they are embarking on this journey of digital. Now, on a very broad basis, the goals can be segregated into 2 parts. First is either brand building, or the second would be lead generation. The second is you need to have a proper strategy in place which aligns with your goals so that the blueprint is ready and is in alignment with your goals and facilitates the achievements of the goals over a sustained period of time. The third is the implementation, wherein you got to focus on how to deploy your strategy in the set tools of your choice. The last is the analysis, wherein you need to verify the outcome of the implementation and see whether it is in alignment with the strategy deployment and the goals that you had identified initially. And the fifth phase is the optimization phase, wherein you once you get the insight with respect to the analysis, you optimize your campaign and bump it back into the strategy and see whether the intended direction is where you're headed for, or there is a course correction required, and accordingly, change the implementation aspect, analyze, optimize. So this is again the continuous process that we just spoke about 2 slides back. Now, what we see as a fundamental gap in digital per se is, now this I'm talking from the customer's standpoint or the organization standpoint is, so here is the customer and here is their initiative of going digital. The fundamental emotions which the customers or the organizations generally experience is they are very unsure about this and they are very confused, right? And the reason is most of them don't understand what is the possibility these tools offer, and they generally depend on digital marketing agencies who generally confuse you with a lot of technical jargon like CPC, CTC, the stuff. Uh, but then the point that I'm trying to highlight here is when you look at the 5 key pieces again, the, 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 the crux of the problem here is whenever you're appointing an agency, or even if you're doing it in-house, you are outsourcing all these 5 steps, or probably just the goals part. You might be very clear that, okay, I need leads, that's it. But the rest of the other pieces of the puzzle is strategy, implementation, analysis, and optimization. So in these 4 areas, you expect the agency to do the work for you. All right. That's where the key problem is. Whereas you, as organization owners at the helm of the affairs, should be in a position to control the goals, the strategy, the analysis, and the optimization. Implementation, you can outsource it, or you can have an in-house team station in your company who does the implementation of your strategy. That is just hitting the right buttons on the tool and plugging in your ads and stuff like that. But you cannot escape the strategy, analysis, and optimization piece of it, or rather, not cannot, you should not outsource this, because you eat, sleep, and breathe your business every day, and nobody is in a better position than you to strategize, analyze, and optimize this section of your business as well, apart from your core business, which is your product or your service, right? You need to know what is possible. You need to know what is possible. That's the primary thing that I would like to drive out of this. So once you know what is possible with the systems which we'll be speaking about today, then I think you would be in a driver's position to understand or experience sales growth at an affordable cost. So this statement is something you're going to see me repeat quite a bit during this entire session. So even at the risk of sounding repetitive, I am going to do that, because if you get this one thing out of this session out, I'm sure it's going to set the direction for you on this journey of digital, wherein I can guarantee you that you will experience success. Right? So let's get started now. So what is contextual advertising? There are 2 types of advertising. First is contextual and the other is search. So when I say contextual advertising, the advertising is in context to your behaviors in that set platform. So let me just give you a brief explanation of that. So let's say you're on Facebook. So there's a lot of piece of content that you consume, or you like the posts of your friends. And depending upon that, you're actually giving a hint to Facebook as to what type of content you like to experience. So what happens is when an ad is plugged into the system, Facebook does the analysis with respect to the context on which the pointers that you have given to Facebook in terms of the content that you like to experience. And if you qualify as a profile, of course, an anonymous profile, then the ad is shown to you. But the fundamental difference between the intent based advertising and the contextual based advertising is that in contextual advertising, you are not expressing an explicit intent to know about the product or the service. Whereas when it is search based advertising, you are actually searching or looking out for a product or a service on Google, right? That means you're explicitly expressing an intent to know about the product or the service. So that is the reason when there is an intent, there is a chance of engagement with the prospect. And since there is a chance of engagement with the prospect because of the intent, there is a chance of a sale. So our focus today will be on search-based marketing, and we are placing our bet on Google. And the reason for that is this is a pullout from the website Statista. And as on January 2020, Google is commanding around 87% of the global searches that are happening. So this is where Google is today, and it doesn't end there. So this is again from Statista. So if you look on the y-axis gives you the number of words of on the search query. So from one word till 10 or more words, Google is commanding more than 90% of the searches that are happening on the internet today. Now the source of this information is again Statista. So now the first question that comes to your mind is, all right, uh, we fully understand what is intent-based advertising. Okay, we need to get into this. Google is commanding all the searches. Everything is hunky dory. It sounds well, but then should I really advertise on Google? Is there actually a demand for my product or service? Or is there any way I could identify beforehand, before I invest my money on this platform? Is there any way I can identify that whether there is a demand for my product or service on Google? So the answer to that question is yes. There is a tool called as the Keyword Planner tool. It is a free tool given by Google. You just need to have a Gmail account to access this, and it gives you a demand analysis of the product or service that you are providing today, and you can look at the search demand for your product or service being searched on Google on a global level. It is not restricted to your current country of residence. At a global level you can do that. But instead of speaking about it, let me just go ahead and give you a demo on that. So we are here right now on the Google Keyword Planner tool. I'm just going to refresh this page. It's been open for quite some time. I kept this ready for the session. Yeah. So here I am. So I just hit the Discover New Keywords tab. So here you see the geography is India right now. So let's say I'm going to search for CRM services. CRM services. Let's say a company is into CRM services, just like we are. So I'm just going to give my example here. So we are into CRM consulting and implementation services as well, apart from digital marketing. So if I want to do an ad on CRM services, so I just type CRM services, I hit get results. So as you see, CRM services, Google has thrown out the output to me, and it has even given some recommendations on the top, which are related keywords pertaining to my primary seed keywords. This is my seed keyword on the basis of which I'm trying. So as you see, CRM services is being searched 590 times in a month in India. The competition on this keyword is low, and the bid range, so the money that you will pay to Google, if at all you advertise on this keyword and somebody clicks on your ad, will range from 35 rupees to 786 rupees. It is a high priced keyword. But similarly, it gives you all the recommendations as to what all other things people are searching for. It goes down till the bottom. So let's try let's try. And again, it actually doesn't end there. So you have a search volume trend here. If you click on any of the graphs, you'll see that what was the total search and what was the mobile search. You can even break it down by platforms. So if you break it down by platforms, you see that 68% of the searches on CRM services are happening on desktops, 1% on tablets, and 31% on mobile. I, I can even break it down by locations. So it will now give me a state-wise breakup. So the majority is Maharashtra, 16.4%, Karnataka is 18.2%, and the other states combined is 35.9%. So this gives you an idea beforehand, before you decide to invest on Google AdWords, you can do this for free. So my suggestion to you is tomorrow, if you want to appoint a CRM agency, or sorry, it's not a CRM agency, a digital marketing agency, just pick up the phone, call them and tell them, I would like to do an online keyword research with you about my product or service before I decide to advertise on Google AdWords or not. So you can have a 30-minute session. Whatever products, whatever keywords you feel are related to your products or services, you can just ask them to do that online the way we are doing it right now. Have a look at it, then select the keywords, ask them to dump it in an Excel sheet and give it to you so that you can look at it further and you can do multiple iterative sessions if required to get a proper idea of what is the demand of your product or service on Google before even advertising on the platform. And this, any agency will do it for you for free. They will not charge you for this, because the chance is, if they do a good job here, there is a chance that they might end up having you as a customer. This is one thing you need to keep in mind. Before you even embark on this, you have to use the keyword planner tool to ascertain the demand of your product or service on the Google platform. So that's the keyword planner tool. So the three key pieces of search marketing is, you have the keywords as we just showed you on the keyword planner tool. Then you have the ad copy, and then you have the landing page. That's it. So anytime somebody searches anything on the Google search engine, if the keyword is one of the keywords that you are advertising, then your ad copy will show. And once the prospect clicks on the ad copy, they might go into a landing page. So the landing page can be an exclusive page designed particularly for that product or service that is being advertised, or it can be a website as well. And in that website, that specific page which talks about the product or service which the searcher is actually searching. Now, the key thing you need to understand here is, now since you're aware of the keyword planner tool, as a customer, you control these three pillars. There is no need for you to depend on the agency for this. You can tell the agency, these are the keywords I want to advertise. The ad copy, which actually, wherein the section on which of the Google Ads tool where you plug in the ads, you can create a very simple Excel utility. If you want that utility, just send out an email to us on support@simplysales.co.in. I repeat that, support@simplysales.co.in, and we'll be more than happy to share that Excel sheet with you, which is a translation of that ad copy tool of the Google Ads in an Excel sheet. So that will enable you to write your ads right into an Excel sheet and send it to your agency, so that they can just plug it into the system and show you a screenshot of, okay, this is the ad what you gave it to us on Excel, and we have just plugged it into the system. So there is no need for you to even understand the tool on that front as well. And the last aspect is the landing page, which is the ultimate customer experience, wherein they'll be experiencing your brand for the first time. You have to control that as well in terms of the website design or the landing page design. So fundamentally, the point that I'm trying to drive with this slide is the three key pieces of search marketing, which is keywords, ad copy, and landing page. You as the customers, or you as the business owners, can control and should control to have an optimum search experience for your prospects, right from their search query, which is the keywords, a proper ad copy which is in alignment to what they are searching, and a seamless experience on your website, which is the ultimate thing in terms of, that's the final thing they will be interacting with as far as your brand is concerned, so that they take your necessary call to action, which is either sending you an inquiry or downloading an ebook or scheduling a phone call or scheduling a free consultation. Whatever you want can be done, but you've got to control this, right? So that's about the three key pieces of search marketing. The next question what people have is the budget. So people ask us questions like, how much does Google charge for us to advertise? Well, the answer to that question is it is you who decides how much you need to pay to Google. There is no bare minimum which Google says that if you pay me this much only, then you can advertise. It is you who decides. The budget can be as low as 100 rupees per day. So, like if you can just recall the slides or the demo of the keyword planner tool, the lowest bidding range was 35 rupees. So, just for the sake of mathematics, if you put it as 25 rupees, and if your per day budget is 100 rupees per day, and the cost of your click is 25 rupees, then per day you can get 4 clicks. So per day you can send 4 prospects to your website, which translates to on a monthly basis 120 people visiting your website, right? At the cost of 100 rupees per day multiplied by 30, which is 3,000 rupees. So even if you do that, that is also possible. You can start. The point that I'm trying to drive with this slide is you can start your campaign for as low as 100 rupees per day. There is no bare minimum which Google says that you have to pay this much for the ad to run. But from an experience standpoint, generally a good point to start is anywhere between 300 to 400 rupees per day. But then still, if you want to start with 100, you can still do that. So now you have researched on the keywords, you have set up the ad, you have set up your landing page, you've written the ad copy, okay, you have plugged in the campaign, you have identified the budget, and your campaign has started running. Now, how do you know whether it is working nice or not? So you should be able to measure your success. So this section will talk about the 5 key reports. Only 5 reports is what you need to look at from a Google Ads standpoint to understand, to get a holistic 360-degree view of whether your campaigns are running perfectly or not. This is one thing which we always share before we get into the reports and analytics section, which is without data, you're just another person with an opinion, and we certainly don't want you to be one. So some key reports to be looked at is the search terms report, the geolocation report, the device report, the day of the week report, and the hour of the day report. We'll start with the search terms report. This is a screen grab of the search terms report. Now, what is a search term? So as you might recall, some time back we spoke about keywords. Now, keywords is what you advertise for, and search terms are the actual search queries which your prospects have searched for on Google for your ad to trigger. This is one of the most important reports you need to look at because it gives you the psychology of the searcher, the intent of the searcher. Let me just repeat that again. Search terms report is one of the most important reports that you need to look at. You need to ask your agency this because it talks about the psychology of the searcher. Because when you look at the search terms, you know precisely what they are looking for. So it's quite possible you might be advertising on a keyword, but then when you look at the search terms, you understand, okay, apart from my product or service, some people are also looking for extensive documentation related to my product or service since it is relatively new. So I see an interest about my product or service, but the level at which the people are searching for is more to do about information awareness. So it's a more of an information related query rather than a transactional query wherein they want to associate with me directly. So you might want to park a part of your campaign budget on just pure content related marketing. So for instance, in this search terms, if you see a pattern of people who are searching for information related to your products or service, then you can send them to that section of the website which talks primarily about the information, nothing else, and in a very subtle way, ask them to engage with you via an inquiry or a phone call. But fundamentally, the point is search terms report is the holy grail. This is one report you have to look at. You don't look at anything else, doesn't matter. But search terms report is something you really have to look at because it talks about the psychology of the searcher. And when it talks about the psychology of the searcher, you can have different forms of intent. You can create intent patterns out of this. That is the reason it is one of the most important reports that you need to look at. The next is the geolocation reports. So you will know precisely which location. Let's say you're advertising on a pan-India basis, you will know precisely which city, which state is giving you the maximum amount of fractions. That's the geolocation report. Followed by the device reports. So when I say device reports, you would know whether your searchers are more mobile or they are more desktops or they are more tablets. So if they are more mobile, then you might want to look at the mobile experience that you're giving them on their cell phones. You might want to look at your website, whether there is a good mobile experience or if it is mobile optimized or not. whether there is a cumbersome experience, people are not able to engage with the content that very seamlessly. So those things you need to look at. So you're going to pump it back, right? It doesn't end there. It also gives you the day of the week report. So what I'm trying to say with this is the day of the week, wherein it's quite possible that in the 7 days of the week, only 3 to 4 days is where there is a maximum traction, right? So that is something which you can see here. So that which days are people uh, or which days are people searching maximum for my product or service, and I would like to see that, whether I can do something about this, so which will show in the next couple of slides. So the day of the week report gives you the days of the week wherein there is maximum traction with respect to your campaigns, followed by the hour of the day. So it doesn't end with just the day, it also gives you on which hours you got the maximum traction. So it runs from a 1 to 24-hour cycle, which is on the left side column. So which hour is giving you the maximum number of clicks? That is also possible. So the day of the week and the hour of the day. With this combination, you can create an ad schedule. So when you start your campaign, you start with a 24-hour window. You let your campaign run for say 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then eventually once you have these reports in hand, you would know that, okay, this day of the week, these days of the week, I'm getting maximum traction, and within these days, for these hours is what I'm getting the maximum traction. So you contract your advertising window on a per day basis, keeping the budget the same, and gain the maximum traction within that window of time on a particular day for all those days in which you have received maximum traction. So this is how you tie the day of the week report with the hour of the day report and create an ad schedule. So Google will run your ads only on those specific days and only on those specific times, right? So you make the most out of your budget. Okay, instead of running it on a 24-hour window, you run it only on that specific time window on those specific days to get the maximum traction out of your budget. Now, the next question what we get in terms of with respect to the reports is this, that most of the SMBs or startups or small enterprises, they don't have the budget to have an in-house total marketing agency team. So they outsource their entire digital marketing efforts to a marketing agency. Now, the unfortunate part is there is no barrier to entry for somebody starting a digital marketing firm. There is a zero barrier to entry, unfortunately, and there is no way. So there is a plethora of digital marketing agencies out there, and most of them send reports in the form of an Excel sheet to their customers. And customers are generally unsure about, okay, how do I verify the authenticity of this report? I, I mean, what if that person has just tweaked the Excel and sent it back to me and just showing me a picture that is rosy for me? And uh, how do I validate this? Because I don't have access to the tool. They are running the campaigns for me. So how do I know whether this information is authentic? And the other thing is, you are dependent on your agencies for them to give you the information, right? So if you want an information right now at this moment, so you will have to write an email to the agency or call them, and then depending upon whether they are available, whether their systems are up or running, you're totally dependent on them, or are at their mercy to share the information with you. So how do we solve this problem? So let's say hello to Google Data Studio. Now, what is Google Data Studio? Google Data Studio is Google's data visualization platform, which seamlessly connects with Google Ads, which is your Google Ads account, and will give you a real-time depiction of what's going on with your campaign at the click of a button. Without much ado, let me just give you a demo of Google Data Studio. This is how it looks like. This is a sample data though, but this is what can be achieved for your campaign as well. And whatever reports we showed you as a part of the screenshot, I showed you as a part of the screenshot, those can be added as pages here. You can have multiple pages in your report. You can filter your campaign, you can filter the dates, and everything populates on its own. So this is real time. All you need is a Gmail account for you to create this, connect this to your Google AdWords account. It doesn't take more than 30 minutes to do this. To connect your Google Ads with Google Data Studio, it doesn't take you more than 30 minutes. And this is the value addition you get. You can share it with your team members. You can have scheduled reports delivered to your inboxes. Everything is possible. All right. And it can be done under 30 minutes. This is Google Data Studio, which you need to keep in mind. And any digital marketing agency should be able to do it. It is absolutely not complicated. It's just simply clicking a couple of buttons and that's it. You're done. Right. And it's free, by the way. This is an actual blog data release from Google's blog. It says Data Studio is now generally available. There's no charge for this. You can get this done for free and empower yourselves with the information that you need when you need it, okay, without depending on your agencies to give it to you. So this puts you in the driver's seat, right? So that's about it for the Google Ads piece of it. So I hope that with this section, you might experience the fact that the outcome that you should be in a position to generate sales growth in terms of lead generation at an affordable cost by using Google AdWords, have total control in terms of the execution. You can outsource the execution or have somebody in-house, doesn't matter, but you can control the strategy piece, the analysis piece, and the optimization piece. You can do a thorough due diligence about the demand of your product or service on Google without spending a penny on advertising. Just call a digital marketing agency and tell them I would like to do a keyword research analysis with you using the Google Keyword Planner tool, and have an online session done with them. And you should be in a position to understand what's the demand of your product or service. Just look at 5 reports, which is the most important is the search terms report, followed by the other 4, and get Google Data Studio set up for you for free so that you have total authentic information about the performance of your campaigns delivered directly to you from Google and not via an intermediate agency or a digital marketing agency, right? That was the first part which I wanted to cover. Second part that I wanted to cover today was on LinkedIn, which is this is pretty basic about LinkedIn. A couple of points is very useful for B2B communication and is one of the best platforms for lead generation. The one ad that I would like to ad type, of course, it gives you a lot of ad formats in which you can advertise, but then there's one ad type which is gaining a lot of traction today on the platform, and that's the LinkedIn sponsored email ads. And this is how it looks like. So on the left side, if you look at the screenshot, this is actually a screenshot of one of our campaigns, which we are running on LinkedIn by using the sponsored email campaign. It's about our contracts management solution software, which we have architected on the Zoho platform. So this is once I test the sponsored message, I get an email myself to see how my email looks and how it will look on my prospect's phone. So this is how it looks. And once I click that on the right hand side, this is the actual text of that email. So I'm just going to go ahead now. Instead of slideshows, I thought I might just give you a demo of the possibilities of the LinkedIn sponsored email ad type with respect to audience targeting, the budget, the ad creation, and the analytics. Let's just dive into it real quick. So this is my profile I've kept open. This is my campaign manager, which is what we are running. So this is my the campaign which I'm running, Fluent Contracts. I'm just going to go ahead and hit manage here. So if you see the country that I've selected here is India. So it's being run. There's another campaign which we're running for the United States as well. But there are 2 separate campaigns, one for India and one for the United States. So this is India. The best part about it is you can target on job titles. So what I've done is I've targeted on owners, business owners, head of regulatory affairs, sales purchase specialist, head of agency, contract specialist, strategic purchaser, head of quality control, vice president of sales, executive vice president. So these type of targeting is possible. I can select on the job titles of whom I want my message to go. Okay. So in my case, since this is a contract management solution, it's a combination of business owners, leadership, people at key leadership positions, and people who are at the functional roles of related to contracts. And the best part is the minute I'm targeting this here, I can see my actual audience size. So as of now, with my current targeting, I have about 1 million people whom I can send out emails to. And it doesn't end there. I can even get a segment breakdown of the function, the seniority, the year of experience, the company size, the industries, and the interests. As of now, it is function. If I do seniority, then from my audience, owner will be 48%, directors will be 30%, VPs will be 22%, seniors will be CX will be 6%, and CHOs will be 6%. Going below, I can decide on company sizes. So as of now, I'm doing for all the company sizes which are available. These are the maximum number of company sizes that are available, right from a single person company to 10,000 plus companies employees. Sorry, so I can do that, and within company now I have company categories. So whether you want to do on Forbes world's best innovative companies or Fortune 100 fast growing companies worldwide. So these are the selections you have in terms of the company categories. Then you can do on company industries, whether it is agriculture, arts, construction, consumer goods, corporate services. And if you hit that, there's still further a drill down on architecture or planning or design or graphic design. If you're selecting design, select education, then it can be e-learning, education management, higher education, primary or secondary education, research, energy and mining, entertainment, finance, hardware and networking, healthcare. So the minute I select something here, see, I select. So you see, if I selected three more categories, my audience size has changed to 1,100,000 people. All right. So this is real time. It happens. If I remove that, it will go back again to 1,000,000 people. So this is about the company types, the company industry types. You can even do it on company names. So whichever company name, I'm sorry. So if you want to target on specific company names, you can do that as well. Then you can do it on demographics, whether it's a member age or a member gender. You can do it on their education. You can do it on their job experience, again on job titles. So if you want to do director, engineer, so if you say director, then it gives you options. Would you like to incorporate any of these as well? So that also can be done. So this is about the overall targeting that can be done on LinkedIn. It's phenomenal. The possibilities are immense. And these are the types of ads which are supported since we are doing the message ads. So this is selected right now. And now you can select a daily budget. So here it LinkedIn asks for a basic of 500 rupees per day is the actual budget that you need to use. But we have selected 700 here, and the bid amount is just 1 rupee 60 paise. You can send out sponsored email messages for as low as 1 rupee 60 paise, and it gives you a 30-day spend here and a 30-day message sends from 6,400 to 25,000 messages or 10,000 messages, 10,000 rupees to 25,000 rupees is your cost. If I hit next here I'm going to do send a test message to myself as I just showed you. My profile is on here. I see the messaging here and see the sponsored, the message has come to me as a test message. I can read through the message and see whether the spelling errors, everything is okay. This is what my prospects would see. I click on this and just wanted to see whether the link that has been configured. This is our contract management page, right? So this is about the LinkedIn sponsored email ads that I wanted to show. So the best part, again, the same thing needs to be done here. You can call the digital marketing agency and tell them I need to run a LinkedIn sponsored email campaign. So can we just go ahead and do the targeting piece of it and see what type of audience I can target, and then you can do a live session with them and then look at the cost and stuff like that, compose the email, send it to them, ask them to send out a test message to you. You can look at it on your mobile, on your desktop, and see whether everything is okay and ask them to go live with the campaign. That's about the LinkedIn piece of it. The third piece that I want to speak about is the content marketing. So the 2020 trends for B2B. So there's going to be a continued dependence on social media and blogs. There's going to be a focus on factual information content or promotional messaging. So this is something very straightforward. So I don't feel any need for us to elaborate on this. LinkedIn will dominate social media for B2B content, and companies will consider outsourcing to meet their content creation needs. So the source of this information is Content Marketing Institute, which was founded by Joe Pulizzi. He is considered the father of content marketing. So this has been published by their company, which is Content Marketing Institute. Video and podcasts will continue to thrive. Usage of chatbots to multiply. I mean, there is going to be an extensive usage of chatbots on your website so that the customer service can be taken care of very seamlessly with the help of artificial intelligence. And there is going to be a consolidation of marketing automation technology. So in this slide, what you can do is I would recommend Zoho Marketing Hub and Zoho Sales IQ to take care of point 6 and 7. So if you want to look at these tools, you can look at it. It's very economical cost-wise. Zoho Marketing Hub is a foolproof marketing automation platform, and Zoho Sales IQ is a website chat tool which allows you to create chatbots with the help of just click and drop. So the point number 6 and 7 can be taken care of by this. And for video and podcast, yes, for video, YouTube is the number one channel. And for podcast, you can get a paid subscription for SoundCloud for as low as $14 per month. And then you can start having your podcast posted there and share your links on the various social media platforms or via RSS feeds. So this is what I want to talk about, the content marketing trends. So a new way to organize information on SEO is pillar content and cluster content. This is something, again, which is gaining a lot of traction in the market. So this is what it looks like. So the center page is the pillar content, which is the main topic, which consists of a lot of subtopics within that main pillar page. And every subtopic that you click on will open a separate cluster content, which will talk in detail about that subtopic and link back to the pillar page with the help of hyperlinks, which are the blue parts. So from an SEO standpoint, Google places a lot of premium on internal hyperlinking of the websites. So that is something which is taken care of very seamlessly if you try to structure your content in the form of a pillar content and a cluster content. This is the definition of pillar page. I'll just give you 5 seconds to read through that. And then if it doesn't make sense, don't worry. We have an example which we'll show you, and which I'm sure you'll be able to make more sense out of that. So pillar pages are both nice and important for SEO, because if just your pillar page ranks well, then automatically all your cluster pages will also rank well, because they are all internally linked with each other. So for just one keyword, if your pillar page is ranking well, and automatically for 1,000 related keywords, it will automatically rank well because they are internally linked with each other. Let me just go ahead and give you a quick example on that. Just 1 second. Okay, you need to help me. How do I? Oh, okay. All right. So this is a site of a company called Cloud Elements. So this is their pillar page, which basically talks about the definitive guide to API integration. So this is the main pillar page, which is the definitive guide to API integration. And on the left side, there are subtopics which talk about API integration. So if we select this, then you get into the section 1, defining integration, user stories, and stuff like that. And from here, in order to build the best user experience. So now if I click here, I go to a detailed blog post which talks about the 10-step guide series of how to design an API integration. So I read about this. And from here, at the bottom, they are linking back to the pillar page. This is what I wanted to highlight with respect to a pillar and a cluster page architecture. So whenever you're designing a website, from a content standpoint, you need to keep this in mind, because it really gives you a lot of brownie points as far as SEO is concerned. And if your pillar page ranks well, then automatically your entire site ranks well for 1,000 keywords, because your cluster pages also automatically come into the foray. And if somebody is searching for keywords pertaining to your cluster page, they also get prominence in the search engine result pages, search, and the chances of getting organic traffic to your website increases exponentially. So this is pretty much what I wanted to speak about. So in conclusion, the 5 key pieces are goal, strategy, implementation, analysis, and optimization. Control the goals, the strategy, the analysis, the optimization, implementation. You feel free to outsource it, or you can do it in-house. Three things which we spoke about was Google Ads, in terms of how you can advertise on Google Ads, do a demand search of your product or service. Before you start advertising, look at the key reports, 5 key reports, and also seamlessly integrate them with Google Data Studio for free, so that you have access to the information when and where you want it without depending on your agencies. Then we spoke about the LinkedIn sponsored email ads. I showed you the targeting, the phenomenal targeting options that are available in that, and how you can seamlessly reach out to decision makers in a very personalized fashion. And then on the content marketing piece, we spoke about the B2B trends for content marketing for the year 2020, followed by a new way to represent uh, content on your website with the help of with the help of pillar pages and cluster pages. Again, at the risk of sounding repetitive, you need to know what is possible. There is no way you shouldn't escape this. You have to invest your time and energy or some money with respect to understanding the immense possibilities which these technology tools offer. It is not about the how, it is about the what. The minute you know the what, you will be in the driver's seat and you will be able to strategize, analyze, and optimize the campaigns irrespective of the platform where you advertise. This is very fundamental and very key for your success in digital marketing or in digital transformation also. Because when you do know what is possible, this is your transition. You go from being unsure to confused. You go from there, you transition to understand what is possible. You're empowered with it, and this puts you in the driver's seat. So, with that said, I would like to thank you very much for your time, and thank you, Sine, once again for this opportunity. And I'll be more than happy to take questions.
Thank you, Shankar, on this positive note. Now, I request my colleague Rakesh to, share if there are some questions posed. Maybe he can help you moderate it. Rakesh, over to you.
Yeah, hi, thanks, Ganga. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Right. We have one question in terms of the keywords per se. What about the quality of the content? How important is it for paid promotions?
The question is, how important is the quality of content for paid promotions?
Yeah.
So the quality of content, meaning the content on the website, is it what you're saying, where you send the advertisers to?
I think it's also to do with the keywords as well.
Yeah, there are two factors. When you're saying content, if the question is about the content of the ad copy and the content of the landing page, yes, both of them are very, very extremely important, because you need to have a very catchy headline, and the description of the ad should also be in alignment to the intent of the searcher. So you know precisely beforehand as to what you're advertising for in terms of keywords, right? So you know precisely what the searcher would be searching for. So on the basis of that, you write the ad copy so that you prompt them to click on your ad. But eventually, the ultimate decision will be taken once they experience your website. That's where the key should be, because that's what ties the entire seamless experience of the keywords, the ad copy, and the landing page. So all the three should be in alignment. It will not work only if you have a good text in your ad copy and your landing page sucks, wherein it's not optimized for mobile, and there is no good content which is addressing the intent of the searcher. Your chances of success is very bleak.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Shankar. And for B2B sales, which is more efficient, LinkedIn sponsored mail or Google AdWords?
Well, we have been
sales?
doing both, and we are receiving traction on both of them significantly. But then yes, from a cost standpoint, if let's say if I take my example, CRM services, we are competing with companies like Salesforce and Zoho and Fresh Sales. So these are all very extremely high funded companies. So the keyword cost in terms of the competition is very high. So for us, it turns out to be a bit expensive in terms of the cost of Google AdWords. But then we try to optimize it with the help of the day of the week and the hour of the day. But LinkedIn turns out to be very economical in terms of the cost per lead and the reach and stuff like that. But both of them are equally important. So you might want to apportion your spend on both these platforms if you're looking for B2B.
All right. And how important are blogs and white papers? How should they be organized into the campaign?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, right, the cluster and the pillar pages, the pillar and cluster pages is what you need to look at fundamentally for blogs, right? And they are extremely important because they establish you as an authority leader in your space, and those can be extensively shared on the social media platforms. But if you're on the B2B space and you need to garner followers on your LinkedIn page and then eventually start sharing content on a regular basis. See, it is the one thing I would like to highlight is it is not about intensity, it is about consistency. So even if you decide that you're going to share a piece of content once in a week, you got to do that consistently for 52 weeks or 104 weeks or 156 weeks or 1 year, 2 years or 3 years. But you got to be consistent. So let's say every Wednesday at 11 p.m. you decide that, okay, I'm going to share a piece of content, then that has to happen. It's not about intensity. That, okay, for 1 week I shared 7 pieces of content and then I was out for, 2 months or 3 months and stuff like that. If you are into that content space, and if content marketing alone is your only medium for generating leads, you're not going into paid advertising, it is just organic, then you want to be very, very consistent. And yes, it is very important, blogs and white papers, because it establishes you as authority leader and somebody who knows what they're talking about.
Right. Another question is in the pillar or the cluster format, can it be used for content creation as well?
Absolutely, why not?
Right. Um, Another question from Anand Patil is for lead generation builders. For lead generation builders, shall focus on Google AdWords or Facebook or anything or any other source?
See, when I say real estate is something which minimum cost for a crore in Mumbai at least. It starts at 1 crore or 95 to 100. I mean, 85 to 90 lakhs. And I have my own doubts whether anybody would want to, decide to buy a flat by seeing an ad on Facebook. So it is more of a person who is actually searching for a flat in, say, Ulve, a 2 BHK flat in Ulve or a 2 BHK flat for rent in Navi Mumbai. If that person is searching for it, I think the chances of a sale is much brighter there. So I would say Google Ads rather than Facebook. Facebook would be good for brand building, but in terms of if you're looking to lock out sales, then yes, Google AdWords is the platform for real estate.
Okay. So from the registration, we had a question.
Yeah.
It's regarding website visitors. How can I increase my website visitors without spending much? Any tips for that?
Without spending much is probably, yeah, that's what I said. You can have your own Facebook page, you can have your own LinkedIn page, start sharing content there, and once the content gains an organic traction, then you'll have more followers for your page, and they will be more interested in your updates. And your updates could be pieces of content on your website, and that way you can increase traffic on your website. But it is going to take a while. It's not that you start sharing content today and from the next day, uh, people start flocking to your websites, unless and until you are in a space wherein there is nobody there around, there's no competition, because people are dishing out content crazy. And as I said, quality trumps quantity. So even if you're sharing less number of posts, but then if the quality of the post is very good, then yes, people will look forward to your content, and that's how you grow organically. But it will take time for sure.
Right. We have a question from Mansi. She asks regarding Instagram advertising, is there a way in which we can increase the followers from just first level friends? Any tips on that?
Instagram, probably you can start advertising in terms of Instagram stories are very interactive. All right, so you can probably try to run a story campaign and have people engage with your brand. And I think there is a targeting option of friends of your friends, so you can start advertising that way and see if you gain traction.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
So another question is in terms of which digital platforms would you suggest for early startups to maximize their reach?
LinkedIn to start with, if it is in the B2B space.
Right, right. If it is B2C,
Facebook.
all right. Another question is in terms of many of the early startups, they may not have enough funds to even set up a website or may defer it. What are some of the free tools out there which they can help in making websites?
Yeah, so I did have a section on that, but since we were running out of time, but since you have asked the question, I'll just show it to you right away. So the tool is Google Sites. This is a free tool which you can use, and it seamlessly integrates with all the Google products like Sheets, Slides, Docs, Map, Calendar, YouTube. And it's phenomenal. Just a drag and drop. And this is one of the websites which we are currently marketing, which we are using. We are using Google Sites for one of our CRM advertisements on Google AdWords. And this is what I have actually created myself in 4 hours. This is the website which I have done, and it looks like this. This is the actual website, and this I did it under 4 hours.
Right.
There's one thing I wanted to show you actually. Just see whether it is here. Yeah, just hold on for a second. One page, yeah. I just wanted to show the Google Slides integration actually. If you have a corporate slide of your company, then with the help of the Google Slides integration, you can actually run your presentation like this on your website. So just hit play here and the slideshow runs on its own. And this is totally free. And the best part is you get HTTPS free. Generally, if you host it at GoDaddy or something, and if you want your site to be secured, then you need to buy a separate HTTPS license. But if you host it on Google sites, then all sites hosted on Google are HTTPS, and you can map your domain to this also. So you need not be sites.google or something like that. It can be your own domain, which you can map, but it will come with HTTPS incorporated. So you save cost there as well. It's around 4,000, 5,000 rupees per year is the cost for an HTTPS license per domain. So you save that as well.
Got it. It's 17 hours. We have a question from Nixon. He asks, would you recommend to increase the budget for the slot of the best day of the week and best time of the day for Google Ad? Or would you recommend to keep the budget the same? Primarily, would you like to know the change in budget and change in quality of leads?
Yeah, see, to answer that question, so if you increase the budget, then you have the advantage of, because Google's job is to maximize is to use your budget, right? Whatever you're allocating for your marketing spend, right? And if you shrink that window on a per day basis for Google to consume your budget or utilize your budget so that Google's revenues also go up, then Google will try to show your ads more in that window. So that's how, if you increase the budget within and shrink the time frame, then the chances of your ad showing more in that budget, in that window, increases because you have increased the budget, and Google has that window to exhaust your budget. That's how it is. But if you keep the budget the same, still it will be showing more number of times in that time window. But if you increase the budget, then yes, the number of times your ads show will definitely be higher as compared to if you keep the budget the same.
Got it. Well, I think in terms of questions, that's all what we have. Shankar, thank you so much once again for your time today and explaining
All right.
the various.
I have published my email address here as well. It's Shankar at Simply Sales. If anybody has any questions, please feel to send out an email to me, and I'll be more than happy to answer them offline.
Perfect. And Swati, if you could make me a present, I just want to show a slide from my side. Thank you. So just regarding, and if you want to reach out to SINE, if you have any questions in terms of our incubation, as you know, we incubate early stage startups. You can write us to the BD team, which is bd@signeiitb.org. And you needn't have to be only, we've taken startups from across India. We have a virtual model as well as a physical incubation model. And you don't have to be, IT Bombay alumni or part of IIT Bombay, to be part of the incubation center at IIT Bombay at SINE, feel free to write to us, and we look forward to having you more for our sessions. And if you have some feedback, we would be sharing a feedback form with you as well. And please share your feedback in terms of the sessions as well as the other sessions that we could conduct in the following weeks to come as the Power Hour series at SINE. With that, Shankar, I would like to thank you from SINE team for your time today. And also for the viewers, we will have the recording of the webinar available on YouTube channel, and we will share that across to you as well. You can search up for SINE IIT Bombay on YouTube, and you will find the SINE channel where you can see the other sessions that we did. This is the 8th session that we have done as part of the Power Hour series. You can find all the sessions recorded there. With that, I would like to thank you, Shankar, for your time today.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, viewers, for your time. Bye.